Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan juga selamat malam. Very good evening to all. Thank you all students who could join me tonight. Even though this is a designated synchronous session, but I would like to use this session specifically to introduce all students about the structure and also to give some overview of what we will encounter this semester for ENT243 Thermodynamics II. Okay. Here are some checklists that I hope to cover tonight. We're going to look at the teaching plan, teaching materials, our schedule, list of students, the outcomes of the objectives of this course, and then about some assessments that we plan to do for the semester, lab sessions, how the labs will be conducted, and of course, we'd like to recap Thermo 1 if possible. Okay. If you got any questions, you can just interrupt me. Just ask straight away. Okay. All right. So I just checked a couple of minutes ago. So far, the list of students who joined Google Classroom are at 147 students. However, the one that registered officially, according to the system, there are only 144 students. So meaning that there are 3 students who joined the Google Classroom but did not register for ENT243 officially. So I'm not sure why. Maybe you plan for late registration or you did not do pre-registration. But whatever it is, I hope you have a look at the academic calendar. When can you last register and so on and so forth. Okay. So it is students' responsibility to make sure that you register for this course. Okay. I would always like to start my semester by showing a couple of pictures. Okay. So basically, you had a good time during the semester, but when the semester results came out, you barely passed. And then the right picture basically shows what happens between Thanos and also the Avengers. Okay, so if you have taken this course before, I think last time I also taught this course last year. I welcome again those students. Welcome back to this course. Hopefully we'll have a good time again. Okay. Okay, so the questions, first question that I would like to ask, are you guys eligible to enroll in ENT243? So usually when students got C minus or D plus, the question was, is it possible for students to enroll or to continue with ENT243? So from, okay, I got some message from Sarah Madiana requested to enter the chat content. Okay, all right. So what happens if you got conditional pass, C minus or D plus during ENT143 Thermodynamics 1? Can you continue with ENT243 this semester? Okay, it's a bit difficult. There's no straight answer for this one. I want to answer that. It's yes or yes and no actually both. According to the latest meeting that were held between lecturers in mechanical engineering program, this is a tricky subject. Basically, it's not the subject itself, meaning that if you got conditional pass, C minus or D plus for thermodynamics 1, by right, it's not straightforward. It's not like you can straight away take 243. Okay. So what we, according to the academic guidelines provided by the university, the passing grade stated by the requirement is to pass the subject for the prerequisite, meaning that the passing grade is C and above, because our failing grade is C minus to F. C minus and the F conditional pass, by definition, is not pass. Okay, it is fail. Okay. But there has been practice previously, if students got C minus or D plus conditional pass for thermodynamics 1, students can still continue with Thermo 2 ENT243 provided that they take ENT143 in parallel, meaning that students who got conditional pass for Thermo 1 have to take Thermo 1 and at the same time taking Thermo 2 in parallel. That's the practice before. Okay. However, according to the latest discussion, it's still a very confusing subject. So the best option for you to do now is to, for those yang got C minus and D plus, conditional pass for Thermo 1, I highly recommend you to have a chat and discuss with your RPS as soon as possible, preferably by this week. Okay, so I do not want you to join this class after 3 or 4 weeks. Suddenly, only then you notice you got instruction from RPS. Okay, no, you can't take this class for whatever reason. Okay, so again, I repeat, those who got conditional pass, C minus and or D plus for Thermo 1, please consult your RPS whether you can take or not this ENT243 this semester. As a lecturer, as a course coordinator, I cannot block, okay, students who wants to join this course. Okay, I welcome all students, but the responsibility whether you can or not take this course lies with the student. Okay, so you have to decide. You have to discuss with your RPS. Okay. All right. So I think every student should be aware of this requirement starting from last year or maybe for 3 or 4 semesters back. If in order for students to pass any courses in UNIMAP, they need to get their final exam above 40%. Okay, so if you got overall marks in your final exam less than 40%, you will fail the course. Okay, even though you get C minus or D plus, being helped by continual assessment, by quizzes, by labs, tests, and so on and so forth, you will still fail if you get 40% or below for the final exam. I think this is quite straightforward. It has been in practice for several semesters now. Okay. So again, of course, Thermo 2 is a continuation. It's not, I wouldn't say a new subject per se. It is a continuation from Thermo 1. So that is why, just 1 second. So that is why it's important students to have a good foundation in Thermo 1 before they continue with Thermo 2. So that's why the issues that I raised just now, can you take Thermo 2 if you got conditional pass for Thermo 1? This is the reason, because we will be applying the knowledge that you learn in Thermo 1 into Thermo 2. Okay, we are going to use a lot of first law, second law, pure substance, meaning that you are going to use the tables. You are going to do basically loads of interpolation. You need to read PV diagram, and you need to understand the behavior of ideal gas. Okay, so if you still have problems with all this, okay, provided basically those students who got conditional pass but still continue with Thermo 2, usually they will not do well. Okay, again, I have no power to block those students. You have to discuss with with your RPS. Okay, but again, Thermo 2 will use all the knowledge that you have learned in Thermo 1 again and again to solve the problem. So Thermo 1 basically is the foundation. You learn about what is behavior of the ideal gas, how to read the tables. Thermo 2 is the implementation of all those PV diagram. How do you interpolate the diagram? How do you read the tables? How you solve any problems using the knowledge from Thermo 1. Okay, so to do basically, I will not conducting the new session, but I will post several example problems, several tutorial problems from Turbo 1, basically to help students to catch up a bit on basically just to read the property tables, to solve a very simple open and closed system problems. Okay, So I will post those questions in the Google Classroom very soon. Okay? Alright, so essential information. Before we go to essential information, I think let's get to know your supervisor. Sorry, it's not supervisor. Your lecturers for this semester. I will be your course coordinator. My name is Anas Abdul Rahman. I'm a senior lecturer with the mechanical engineering program. My email is stated over here. So if you've got any pressing issues, you can email me directly. I will be helped with Dr. Tan Wee Chun. He is a senior lecturer with mechanical engineering program as well. His email is again stated on the slide. So both of us will be teaching you for this semester for ENT243. Okay. All right. So this is our schedule for this semester. Again, because we are in a very new norm, so we will have 2 hours of synchronous session planned on Wednesday and 1 hour of asynchronous session planned on Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. And then we have 4 lab sessions that should cater the 4 categories of students who join us. But I was made to understand by several students who contacted me personally. There are one other group of students who is or join us this semester. I can't remember, but it's year 3, group 1, if I'm not mistaken. Is it group 1 or group 2? So we got 5 groups this semester. Okay, but I will explain later. It shouldn't be any problem which group you belong to for the labs because labs will be conducted online. Okay. All right. So again, this is the detail of our schedules for this semester. Okay, the details are here. All this will be shared in Google Classroom, right? Okay. All right. So medium of communications, I will be using Google Classroom basically primarily for this semester, for this course. The fact that you guys join to next session means that you managed to enroll to this group. So if for some reason some of your friends are still confused or haven't joined this session or this group, please let them know. The codes are here. All right. Okay, before we go any further, I noticed that there are several students who join the Google Classroom using personal email. Okay, so again, I think I have personally emailed each students to basically to change from personal to Unimax email. Okay, so the reason why, because all assessment will be conducted using Google Classroom as the primary medium. So if you're using personal email, there might be some problems, okay, at the end of the semester when I try to compile your grades. Okay, so I do not want that. So that's why early in the semester, I hope all of you pay attention to the instructions given in the Google Classroom and only use only use the official email account, okay, to enroll for this class. Okay. All right. So for the contact hours, okay, for the previous semester, meaning that before COVID-19, before the new norm, okay, here are the details. Okay, but now, in the new era of the new norm, we have basically synchronized and asynchronous teaching. Okay, so if you are still not sure what is synchronized or asynchronous, so synchronized means it's a live session. Okay, for example, right now, I'm having a live session with you guys. You guys can ask any questions during this session. Okay, asynchronous meaning that the session is not live basically. Basically the lectures, okay, I might record the lecture and then I will post it online and you can view the lectures during the provided hours. Okay, so among the synchronous teaching, the plan is to have lectures, tutorial, and lab, but it can be also a combination of sync and async lecture. Okay, it can be a combination of sync and async tutorial. Okay, and quizzes as well. Okay, test and exam. So far, we I think we are still waiting for the instruction, but the test might be sync or synchronous. We are not sure yet, honestly. But for the final, if I'm not mistaken, it will be face to face. But provided the situation of the COVID-19 is under control. Okay, if not, I think the exam component will be changed to continual assessment like previous semester. Okay, again, things are dynamic, things are fluid, meaning that some of the components can be synchronous or asynchronous. Okay, from time to time, so please be aware. Okay, I will update you guys. Just one thing I would like to highlight. Even though some lectures and tutorials are planned to be asynchronous, meaning that not live, I still plan from time to time to conduct a live session during the designated synchronous session from 8 to 9 on Tuesday. Okay? But because the session is already designated as asynchronous for students' timetable, even though I will conduct the lectures live during the asynchronous session, students have the options of not attending the sessions because the recording will be made available anyway. Okay? Okay, but I prefer to conduct live session because at the end of this hour, some students might want to ask questions. Okay, so that's why so far I think I will conduct both the 2 hours and 1 hour lectures live or synchronous method. Okay, but for the asynchronous slot, students have the options of not attending it because you can always view the lectures later. Okay. Every semester, I think you are aware of this. The introduction must introduce what is expected or what is the outcome that we want to achieve at the end of the semester. Okay. So for this semester, for ENT243 Thermo 2, this is the synopsis of it. The course provides the introduction to thermodynamic cycles for engineering applications. So the keywords here is the applications, cycles and applications. Emphasis will be given to the gas power cycle, vapor power cycles, refrigeration cycles, gas vapor mixtures, air conditioning, chemical reactions, and phase equilibrium. Problem solving will be focused for industrial and everyday life applications. So that's why I said we are going to use what you have learned before in Thermo 1 and use it to solve real engineering application regarding cycles. Okay. All right. So there are 3 COs that are set for this course. CO1, course outcome is to evaluate the problems of gas, vapor, and combined power cycles. Second CO is to evaluate the problems of refrigeration and air conditioning cycle. And the last one is to apply analytical techniques for solving the problems of chemical reactions, adiabatic flame temperature, and phase equilibrium. Okay. So 3 COs, basically the first one is about gas and vapor and combined power cycles. The second one regarding the air conditioning or refrigeration cycle. And the last one is chemical equilibrium. Okay. Possible assessment, assignment, quizzes, laboratories, examinations, the standard one. Okay. Any questions so far from students? Okay. All right. So this is the syllabus for ENT243. So don't worry about this one. I will post this information in the Google Classroom by the end of this week so that you can have a look. The details regarding the study week, how long each chapters will take, will be given later in the slides. So we have gas power cycle, combined power cycles, refrigeration cycles, gas mixture, air conditioning, chemical reactions, and phase equilibrium. Okay? So hopefully we can achieve all this by the end of the semester. All right, so important dates for your academic calendar. I hope you are aware of this. I have also shared this information in Google Classroom, so please make sure you put this in your calendar. The important dates, lectures, some celebrations, okay? Again, all important dates or academic related announcement has been shared in Google Classroom. So please have a look, especially the drop date. If you want to drop or you want to withdraw from the course, when you should do that. Okay? All the information has been shared before. Okay, so as for the course material, the textbook, we are going to use this book, Thermodynamics and Engineering Approach 9 edition by Yunus Chengal and Michael Bowles. Okay, basically there are two versions of this book. First is the combination between SI and also the non-SI, which is on the left one, this one, and the other one is the thermodynamic, the same book by Chengal, but this is specifically for SI version. It doesn't matter which version that you have, as long as you have a textbook. So the common questions that usually lecturers will get at the start of the semester from students are, do we need textbook? If you ask me, I would say definitely. Without textbook, it's almost impossible for you to learn properly. You need to understand the lectures are meant for a discussion type of lectures. Like basically, lectures, I give you some information, what are the important concepts, blah, blah, blah. But the details, remember, because in 3 hours lectures per semester, to compress everything is almost impossible. So we will highlight what is important, but the details are in the textbook. So you need both lectures as well as textbook in order for you to survive. Boleh, could you guys please mute the microphone? Boleh ya? Alright, thank you. Okay. Alright. So other course materials that you may use for this thermodynamics 2 are listed as follows. Okay. Alright. Next, all the related course materials, meaning that additional reading materials, quizzes, assessment, all of that will be given using Google Classroom. Okay, Google Classroom will be used as the main medium of communication between lecturers and students. So please make sure you join this session, the Google Classroom, our Google Classroom for ENT243. Okay. Okay, I've listed this one. Okay, so this is the planned assessment for this semester. We will have final exam, which constitute of 60% of your overall grade, which is high. Okay, so please take note, 60% of the overall grades comes from the final examination. Next, the continual assessment, 40%, consists of tests, quizzes, assignments, and laboratory. Okay. As for the quizzes, there might be planned and impromptu quizzes along the semester. So please beware. Okay. Sometimes I will not tell students there will be a lecture at the end of the there will be a quiz at the end of the lecture. So you need to always be prepared for the quizzes. Okay. All right. This is the planning for this semester in detail. We have 3 COs to achieve, as I explained before. We will start first week with introduction and gas power cycle. We will start gas power cycle hopefully by tomorrow. And then we are going to continue with vapor and combined power cycle during the 4th week. And we are going to enter a refrigeration cycle by the 6th week. And then gas mixture week 9, week 11, air conditioning system, and then chemical reactions and phase equilibrium after that. Okay. All right. But I would like to highlight to all students, this is planned teaching, meaning that there might be some changes along the way. So please be alert to the announcement. Okay. So this is what you should expect roughly, a rough estimation of the overview of the semester. Okay. So we have lectures, synchronous and asynchronous plan. We have 2 labs. We have no project for this semester, for this course. We have a tutorial, again, synchronous and asynchronous. We have assignments and quizzes. Okay. All right. So this is how this semester will be divided. I will take charge until week 5. So this is a mistake over here. It should be until week 5. So I will be teaching you guys until week 5, vapor and combined power cycles. And Dr. Tan will take over starting from week 6, refrigeration cycles until the end of the semester. Okay. Lab planning. Okay, so there will be 2 labs as explained. Lab 1 is about Marset boiler, and the second lab is heat pump. Okay, so previously we plan to conduct lab 1 during week 4 and lab 2 during week 10. And then we plan to arrange basically the lab session according to the new rules of social distancing or physical distancing and so on and so forth. But upon discussion with Dr. Tan and the program, we have decided to conduct the lab online. So that students basically do not have to come back to campus if they don't need to. Okay, so the arrangement or the details, we are still in the process of finalizing it, meaning that how to take the video, how the video should look like, or how the data should be presented to students. It has not been finalized yet, but all I can say is these 2 lab sessions will be conducted online. Okay, so I will explain when we get close to the date. I will explain later how the mechanism works, how the system works, basically how you submit your lab report, how you basically attend the lab report virtually will be explained soon. Okay, once we get the details finalized. Okay, as for the attendance, again, this is quite tricky because we have both synchronous and asynchronous session. But for my part, I plan to do basically a quiz attendance, meaning that there will be 1 quiz given after Wednesday classes. After Wednesday lecture, I will post the quiz in the Google Classroom, and students have a duration that they can answer the quiz. Okay? So the quiz will be related to what has been discussed during the lecture. Okay? All right. So again, that's why I ask students to join or to enroll Google Classroom using the Unimap email address. Okay, because you can only answer the quiz using official student email account. Okay? All right. I do not wish to go into details or to dwell too much on this. Basically, I have several sets of results for the past 4 semesters, okay, for ENT243. This is not meant to scare you, but overall, according to history from your seniors' performance, roughly the percentage of students who fail the overall grade at the end of the semester, roughly between 30 to 45%. Okay? Between 30 to 40%. Okay, the average. So I hope you will study hard. I know this is a new norm. Almost everything is conducted online. There shouldn't be any excuses or any differences in terms of the teaching delivery. So I hope you will do well. Lecture is important. So does studying before the exam. Okay, so you have to prepare well during and after the why students keep on asking to annotate the chat content, I have to decline, okay? So I hope you will be prepared for this course, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm not going to go into detail this one. So expectation again, I always highlight this to students. Forget whatever you think you know. Basically, once you enter a new class, a new course, there's so much thing that we need to learn. So that's why you have to always pay attention during the class, always have always be prepared during the test or during the quiz. So do not study last minute, okay? Because there's so much thing that we are going to learn throughout the semester, and it's almost impossible to cover everything during the study week. Okay, you need to start from the first week of the semester to do well. okay, for all courses. Okay, why should you care about ENT243? Okay, this is the basically the subjects from 143. From 143 is the prerequisite, and then you move to 243. Okay, then from 243, there is in the same group we have roughly about fluid mechanics and heat transfer, which can be categorized as one core subject, one core group. Then we have these blue lines, basically all the courses that will be offered, usually offered during the fourth year, meaning that this is the elective that you can choose or student can choose. So if you want to do well, or if you want to choose elective subjects related to IC engine, air conditioning, renewable energy, or CFD, you have to do well in ENT143 and ENT243 because the foundation must be there, okay, in order for you to do well. And ultimately, all this knowledge will be used or will be applied again for final year project. Okay? So all the knowledge that you have learned or you have gained from first semester in Unimap until the fourth year will be used. So even though, for example, you got A for Thermo 1, and then you got again A for Thermo 2, but it doesn't mean that you have to take subjects related to thermodynamics. No. In the final year project or elective project, you have several options. Okay, so, but it's good for you if you have a strong background in everything so that your choice will be more when you choose the final year project titles. Okay? All right. Again, already emphasized this. We are going to look, basically, I will post some questions, basically a recap, basically to recap or to look again, to basically what do I say? To refresh your memory on Thermo 1. Okay, we are going to look at first law, second law, pure substance, so on and so forth. Okay? All right, so skip this one. Okay, so I don't think I need a class rep for this course because I think everything will be posted, all information will be posted, or all questions will be posted in Google Classroom. Okay. Previously, for face-to-face classes, usually I have a class rep that I will always be in contact with. But right now, for online courses, all information will be updated or will be uploaded in the Google Classroom. If you need to get in touch with me, please only use email. Okay, do not WhatsApp me personally. Okay, again I repeat, do not WhatsApp me personally. I will not reply. Okay, I will only reply if students contact me using email. All right. I'm not sure about Dr. Tan. I think Dr. Tan will explain later, maybe during this session or maybe during his session, about his house rules. Okay? Okay, I think this is no longer valid. I don't think students are using portal nowadays. Okay, again, for RPS, probably I don't need this information. Okay? So again, attendance, as I said, it will be quiz-based attendance. So I will update basically that those who answers and those who doesn't answer lah, basically from time to time. Okay. So I think there is no longer problem of questions or about coming late to the class because it will be online. All my lectures will be recorded. I will share all the videos in Google Classroom. So even though you can't attend the live sessions, I think you should be okay as long as you take time review the video lectures because my quiz, the attendance quiz will be based on the lectures conducted. Okay, so I highly encourage students to attend the live sessions because you can ask questions. Otherwise, it will be your loss. Okay? Again, late submission for assignments, I think it's better late than never. So I always open for late submission, but with repercussion, meaning that if you tell me in advance, okay, for whatever reason you cannot submit the assignment on time, if the request is appropriate, I will consider that. If not, I'll just deduct marks for those who submitted the assignment late. Okay, so one thing that I want to highlight to students is basically Thermo 2 use a lot of calculations, the same with Term 1. So all the basics mathematics, the calculus should be there. So you should be aware. And then one thing that I would like to highlight is regarding plagiarism. Plagiarism means you copy and paste, or you copy and paste something from internet or other sources that doesn't belong to you as your own work. And this happens a lot uh, from my experience as a lecturer over the years. So if you copy or if you take something that doesn't belong to you, you have to give credit. Otherwise, that is considered as plagiarism. When I notice students who plagiarize, meaning that you submitted assignment, your assignment basically is a carbon copy of something from internet, or you copy and paste directly from your friends, excuse me, I will give 0, but that's not the worst thing. Your names will also be reported to your RPS and also to our program chairperson for the next section. Okay, so if you keep on doing that, your name will be in the system, lecturers will know you, and you will be in trouble, okay, rather sooner than later. Okay, because um, lecturers, we tend to remember students who are problematic, meaning that if you make a mistake once, I think that's okay. But if every semester the same name keep on coming up because of plagiarism, doing poorly in the test or anything, then we will know you. Okay? So once you are famous enough, or once you are infamous enough, then there will be a problem because you will be marked. Okay? So that's why I said, please be careful about plagiarism. Do not copy and paste answers from your friends. Okay? Because if you copy and paste answers from your friends, the one who copy the assignment will get 0, and the one who give his friend or her friends the copy or the answer will be getting 0 as well. Okay, so you have spent, let's say, 2-3 hours of your time to study and then to do the assignment, and then suddenly you get 0 because of your friend. I think it's not worth it. Okay, so please be mindful. For example, after you finish doing your assignment, do not leave your computer open, for example, without being locked if you are away. Okay, always lock your computer so that there is no excuses of your friends copying from your laptop or computer. Right? Okay, and then my advice, because some of the assignment and also quizzes have to be submitted by capturing the image. So please make sure your handwritings are eligible. I really, you could write properly. Okay, it will be very helpful for us lecturers. Okay, again, cut and paste. Okay, now this is example of a real question submitted by students. Okay, sometimes the lecturers already know the answer or the marking scheme, the answer scheme of any particular textbook is already available online. Okay, we know that, all the lecturers know that. But some of the lecturers, including me, I still give questions taken from the textbook, which we know have the solution, because we want students to practice. We know that you have the solution, but it helps students to practice without looking at the solution. Okay? If you have a solution and you still want to copy and paste, that's okay. But if you look at the solution, this is the solution submitted by one of the students. Basically, this student did not even put an effort to write back the solution that he has using his own handwriting. What he did was just cut and then screenshot from the solution and then paste it in his assignment as the answer. Okay, not just one, not just two, but all of his answers basically taken from the solutions. So it shows that this student basically doesn't have any shame. He doesn't really want to learn, basically. Okay, so if this is what you want to do, then that's okay. If you think you can cheat in life, if you think you can do well, you can get 4.0 by doing this, then go ahead. But rather sooner or later, you will find that this is not the best way for you to do well in university. Okay? Even though, again, I recap, even though you have a solution, which I know a lot of you have, please attempt to do the solution, the questions yourself. Because in the test, in the exam, okay, if you never attempted to do the questions yourself, you will be in trouble. Okay, because you have no idea where to start. What are the equations that usually need to be used to solve particular problem? Okay? Because you do not have the experience. So again, I repeat, do not rely on the solution. Sometimes the solution can be wrong. Okay. So your responsibility, please be punctual, even though you are attending virtual classes. I noticed just now I started after 10, 15 minutes. There are still students who are joining us. For me, I think that's up to you if you want to join late. But the thing is, when you join in late, did you notice there is the sound, the beeping sound? Okay, every time someone new just joined, after we started the session, there will be the beeping sound. Beeping sound, which is for me is very very annoying. Okay, so you are disturbing the lectures basically. Okay, so please, if the lectures start at 8 o'clock, please attend 2 or 3 minutes before. Okay, and please participate during the lectures. I really look forward for students to ask questions. Okay, to do well, you need to be prepared for the lectures, meaning that you have to read before you attend the lectures. Okay, and then you have to put effort, please. Um, Again, I think this is valid during the normal semester. Okay. Again, you are the architect of your own success. If you want to do well, you study hard. If you just want to cukup-cukup makan, you can do whatever you want. Okay. Again, I as a lecturer, I will deliver my responsibility. I will deliver the lectures. I will basically mark your assessment grades and so on and so forth. But if you want to do well, it's your responsibility, not your RPS, not your lecturers. Okay, so if we go here, again, the checklist for first introduction, teaching plan done, the book, Google Classroom, schedules, list of RPS, this is KIV dulu. Conditional pass 143, I think this is something critical for those students yang applicable for this scope. Please consult your RPS. We discussed about course objectives, attendance. We also discussed about the attendance, how the assessment, synchronous, asynchronous. Lab session will be conducted online. Assessment, we already discussed this. Thermo 1 recap, practice problem. I will post the questions as soon as possible. I think that's all for tonight. Okay, so for our first class, which is tomorrow, a bit of recap on Thermo 1. I think what I'm going to do is for the recap, I will post the questions, and then I will give about 1 week for students just to attempt over the weekend a simple, straightforward questions, and then I will make a video discussing the solution, 1 or 2 problems. Okay, I will choose 1 or 2 problems and discuss the solutions in the video, so that we don't use the slot a lot allocated for us for the lectures. Okay, reading task. If you notice in the Google Classroom, I posted already several documents. Please have a look, especially the first one, expectation and ethics in emailing. So before you email somebody any lectures this semester, please read these documents. I would really appreciate it. Okay, before you email someone, please read this ethics in emailing document. And then we'll start with Thermo 2 tomorrow with the introduction. Okay, I think that's all from me. Okay, any questions from students? Anyone?
Dr. Anas.
Yeah.
I have something to make a correction
Yes,
about
please.
the CO3.
Okay. Silakan.
That is the original HCA01 that we have the connective level of C6. However, we also do have a HCA03 document that override that. So currently we only have up to C4.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tan. Okay, so everyone, that's Dr. Tan. So basically, the assessment level for CO3 chemical reactions and phase equilibrium is only up until C4. Okay, so I will update that as soon as possible. Thank you, Dr. Tan. Okay, any other questions? Feedback from students? Okay, so if there's none, okay, all right, we got one question. Oh, we got several questions in the chat, okay. All right, so let's have a look. If my answer and if okay, so if my answer and my friend answer are the same, okay, it's almost impossible for two person to write exactly the same solution. Okay, from my experience, it's almost impossible. Okay, so you will never have the same answer as your friends, trust me. Okay, unless you are copying from the same source without editing anything. Okay. For those who are late, don't worry, I will share this session online in the Google Classroom, so don't worry. About the textbook, okay, is it okay for students to use the 7th edition? Okay, now, it doesn't matter which version or which edition that students use. You can even use any of the other thermodynamics textbook available online or the hardcover. It doesn't matter. As long as you have the textbook. Okay, the purpose of the textbook, okay, usually some lecturers, they will require students to have a certain version, let's say 7th or 8th edition, because they will give tutorial questions or quiz questions from the textbook directly. In my case, I will give the questions. Okay, I will write down the questions. So basically, you do not need to use your textbook to look for the questions. Okay, the purpose of the textbook is to help students to read or to prepare before class and for the test. So to answer your question, Imad, it doesn't matter which version or which textbook of thermodynamics. Okay. What is the difference between asynchronous and synchronous? Okay. Synchronous, sync means happening at the same time. So for example, right now, we are having a synchronous lecture or introduction. Asynchronous, asynchronous means something that is not live, meaning that I might have recorded the video of the lectures and then I post it online and I ask students, okay, for today's work or for today's assignment, please watch this video during a synchronous session. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think, okay, the lesson here, the last question, what about lab, doctor? Do we still need to come back and do it face to face? That's the problem if students attended late. When you join in the session late, I have to repeat again the same thing over and over again. Okay, so to answer the question, Hafiz, the lab will be conducted online. We have two labs. Both labs will be conducted online. So for ENT243, students do not need to come back on campus to take the lab. Okay. For other courses, we have to consult the course coordinator. For ENT243 Thermodynamics this semester, the labs will be conducted online. Okay. Okay. The final, do we need to come to the university? Okay, by online exam. Okay, this is the question that I cannot answer yet. Okay. From my understanding, the plan by the university is to have a face-to-face final examination. This is my understanding. Okay. But but if the situation of COVID-19 worsen, if it's getting worse, we might have the final examination like the previous semester during PKP. If you remember, the final examination is being split into several components, continual assessment components. Okay, so to answer the last question from Azrul, so far, according to what we have over here, the latest information that I have, it will be conducted face to face. Okay, unless the university came out with a new instruction. Okay, thank you for the question. Any other questions? Okay, all right, tak ada. Okay, so if there are no other questions, thank you everyone for your time. I look forward to see you all during tomorrow's class, 2:30. It should be a synchronous session, so I expect all of you to attend the class. Okay, all right. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Assalamualaikum and very good evening.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.